This Magi greatness. This Magi greatness. We already started off the Alma-Tehran arc with a fucking bang. Let's go! So we start off with a little bit of the elements of what we learned from last week's chapter, where pretty much it was Attack on Titan and the motherfucker, where humans were hiding, the monsters were just ridiculous. Some of them looked really gross, like they had like a bunch of eyes on them and shit, and humans were just scared, fearing for their lives, and you just see that they were in a truly desperate situation, and I love the way the picture was painted. But before we even jump into that, I want to talk about how now it seems as though she's throwing in cover page stories similar to how the Oda does it in One Piece. We got a little cover page where it pretty much shows how Koen was bowing down to Hakuei with Hakuryu right behind her. It just like, it shows the parallels of where they are now compared to where it all started. And that's definitely due to, obviously, originally the king was Hakuei's father. Once he died, then Gyokuen went with Ren Koen's father, and then that's what switched everything around and just became totally different. So really nice little cover page to add into context to show just how different the relationship was. And that's probably, in a way, also what drives Hakuryu's disgust at them. Like, they used to be bowing down to me, and now I'm supposed to bow down to them? Oh, fuck no. Then we got that giant white hole that came down and pretty much saved humanity, and it looks identical to the one that we seen during the Magnus War, except this one was white compared to the black, and that's obviously due to the white Rook. I'm imagining that pretty much it was a good force of nature that was brought down, and that's probably what Althamen recreated, except using black Rook this time. So we could probably guess that that's the origin of that big black Rook and how Father was originally created, the medium. And pretty much it was originally called Elah, so I'm guessing that they copied off of this, but they went with their own thing because obviously it's eventually be called Father, you know, the black Rook coming down and whatnot. So it was called Elah, and pretty much it came down and decided to choose one king. And it seems as though it was trying to go with a logical thing to do. It was like, okay, you know, the humans are the most weakest out of all the kind on this earth, but I'm going to give them magic and I'm going to trust that they'll do the right thing since they seem to be the ones that have to care for their friends. But if you really look at it, at the end of the day, any being with a mind can be bad or good. It's not necessarily that just because they're the weaker ones and just because they're the ones that are doing the right thing, they're the automatic ones to trust, because at the end of the day, humans can change quickly. Like, if the humans were the ones in power and the monsters were the ones hiding from the humans, the monsters would have been helping each other and been more nicer as well. So it's not necessarily that, oh, this was the right thing to do. This was probably the best thing to do at the time, but it made a mistake because humankind, as you know in real life and, you know, just in stories in general, humankind can have a dark side as well. It's not only a good nature to humans. This is the origin of magicians as well, the people that were brought into and given that magic. I believe it was 500 people in total. The ones that were left got magical powers and became magicians. But it makes me wonder, where are the Goi then? If those were the people that were left and they were given magic, then how are the split between the magicians and the Goi? Was it generations after where people were born and they were born without magic? So that starts to make you question as well, or were there just people that we didn't know of that weren't given the magical powers? And then of course we get to see a little bit more of a glimpse of King Solomon. I want to see what the dude looks like. We only get to see the back of his head and the staff, and the back of his head, every time I see the back of him, he looks very similar to Sinbad. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sinbad is maybe a reincarnation of King Solomon at this point and looks just identical to him, because in this chapter we get to see that there are a lot of people that in the past, in the other world, in Alma-Tehran, look like the people of today. I believe I saw a Dunya. I saw quite a few different people that look like they were reborn. But not only that, then you get to see all the people that in our world were pretty much Djinn, the Djinn. And in this world, they seem to be human. You get to see a human Ugo. You get to see a lot of these different people. And it already got me thinking, what if, this is a huge theory, but it kind of made me just like freak out because I was just thinking of all this and putting everything together. What if when the world was being destroyed, King Solomon pretty much was like, all right, I'm going to send my people to this other world, but he can only send his people with their magic intact if he basically assimilated them and turned them into the Djinn. And what if Gyokuen, because you see there's two females there, there's one that I'll talk about a little bit more in depth in a minute that looks like Aladdin, and then there's another one that you don't see her face, but I'm guessing that's Gyokuen, and then you have Ugo, and then you got King Solomon. What if he was like, all right, I'm sending you all, but yeah, I gotta be the Djinn. Gyokuen didn't want that. Maybe she wanted to be sent, you know, still intact as a human or something, and she pretty much possibly killed Aladdin's mom, which, yeah, right there. There we go. I'm already saying it. I'm guessing that the other female that looks like Aladdin is indeed Aladdin's mom. Maybe King Solomon and Aladdin's mom There you go, you got Aladdin. So I'm guessing that that's a possibility. She killed Aladdin's mom and then got sent over to the other world along with everyone else when they were transported. And that makes me wonder, because we never got to actually see interaction between Ugo and Gyokuen, because by the time Gyokuen was brought into the picture, Ugo was already killed off by Kogyoku. But that already got me thinking, what if that's a huge possibility? And they were lovers at one point, because you see her like snuggling up to Ugo in the past when they were humans, and she's like there next to him and stuff like that, and it almost is hinting that they had a relationship. And I would love to see a reunion between Ugo and Gyokuen and him call her a bitch or something. And that also got me thinking as well, have we actually seen any of the Djinn be around Gyokuen? Because if that's the case, wouldn't some of them recognize her and be like, you traitorous bitch? Like if Amon showed up, or Paimon, or any of these Djinn, if they saw Gyokuen, I'd imagine they would rat her out immediately and say, oh, you're the traitor from Almataran, and possibly just be like disgusted and maybe even attack her or something, because it seems as though all of those people, which were King Solomon's people, were brought over as the Djinn. But not only that, there's also some people that seem to be have brought over or reincarnated, shall I say, as those people. And I'm guessing that that's what it was. People were transported and people were reincarnated into the human world. The people that were transported were reborn as the Djinn. The people that were reincarnated as humans. Although there is a possibility, to be fair, that maybe even it was Gyokuen that is Aladdin's mom, or she'll try to trick him into thinking, which at this point he has all of Solomon's wisdom, so I doubt that would go down. But when I saw that picture, I'm not gonna lie, I was freaking out when we finally got to see the face of that one woman with the one long ponytail similar to Aladdin, and I'm thinking, that gotta be his mom. That has to be Aladdin, not Ajin's mother. And in a nutshell, pretty much we got a lot of hints and a lot of good stuff in this chapter. This chapter just gave us so much, because first of all, you see all the Djinn in a human form. You get to see Aladdin's mother. You get to see a little bit more of King Solomon, the beginnings of the world in Almataran, and is leading up to what destroyed Almataran and why they had to leave and whatnot. And I'm just already starting to think, oh my gosh, how is it that that medium, that white thing that came down from the sky, eventually they transformed it and made it into a black thing? Because you even see Althamen members there. You see some of the Althamen members. I think it was Ethnon. You get to see him there as well. You see a bunch of different people, and I'm imagining it was a big rebellion against King Solomon, and they were like, yo, we're not going to be the Djinn equipped in this new world. We're going there as humans, possibly. Or, of course, it could be something more as well. Maybe some black root came from somewhere and just started corrupting people left and right. Either way, it's just like so many bombshells dropped in this chapter. You get to see what seems to be Gyokuen, because remember, she's one of the Magi that was in King Solomon's past, hugged up with Ugo. I'm imagining they had a relationship as well. And then you got too much with this chapter. This chapter was absolutely amazing. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. And this proves right here that you do not need action. You do not need any of that stuff to get an amazing chapter. This chapter was brilliant, and it just gave so much. Even a cover page story giving a little bit more of a glimpse of when Cohen wasn't in this power that he is now, and how he was just bowing down to Hackaway and that family. Like, oh my god. So a lot of exciting stuff in this chapter, but let me know what you guys think. First of all, do you think my theory is solid as to how everyone came to be from the Almataran world to our world? Do you believe that that was indeed Aladdin's mother, the one female that we saw? And do you think that that was Gyokuen hugged up against Ugo? What do you think about all these Djinn that we see them in like human forms? Was it that they had to be assimilated in order to be transported? Also, one quick theory as well. Aladdin, I'm guessing what happened was, she got pregnant with Aladdin, whatever. She sent Aladdin, possibly all the tombs, all the dungeons that are on Earth right now, our world. I'm imagining they were sent from Almataran, and it's possibly a key way to get to Almataran. Maybe that'll be how they'll will have a true Almataran arc, where they'll go back to the other world or something. But I'm imagining Aladdin was sent in one of them. That's why he was locked in there and couldn't leave. Possibly either they were being transported or he was still too young, and King Solomon gave Ugo specific instructions. Please watch over my son. Please make sure he doesn't, get into harm, and make sure you let him go when the time is right. And that's why he was stuck in that tomb, because he was being transported from Almataran. And it makes me wonder, are we going to see maybe a baby Aladdin with King Solomon and his mother before, we get transported from Almataran to the new world? Just so many questions right now, but just overall, what are your thoughts on this chapter? I love this chapter. I felt this was perfect. It gave so much information, and I'm like, I'm ready for more Almataran arc. Let's go! But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for this Almataran arc. Already kicking off badass. Aladdin's mom, King Solomon, Ugo Human, Gyokuen. So much greatness right now. I'm loving Magi. That's why it's my favorite manga I'm reviewing right now. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.